Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Beth, if you are new here, and I like to talk about music. And today we are actually back with a Mitski album that came out in 2013, so I'm a little bit behind, but it is called Retired from Sad, New Career in Business. The reason that I wanted to check out this album and finally, hopefully check out her two first albums is because I just got tickets to her tour. I'm super excited. I do hope that by the time the concert rolls around, I'll have heard all of her music. So yeah, it's called Retired from Sad, New Career in Business. I really don't know what that means. Classic Mitski. What's interesting is I know people have said she's gonna retire soon, and I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea, but I do think it's interesting that this is called Retired, but this is one of her earlier albums, I think, so I'm not really sure like where that title comes from. The album cover, like, I really have no idea what's going on there. But yeah, there's a song called Strawberry Blonde, and I'm really excited for that one because I'm a strawberry blonde. There's a song called Humpty. There's a song called Shame. Like, yeah, but we're gonna check it out. We're gonna see. I really love her most recent album. I think that is my favorite body of work from her without a doubt, actually. Bury Me at Makeout Creek is a close second. It's very close, but I feel like The Land is Inhospitable has more replay value. I have not really stopped listening to it. But yeah, the first track is called Goodbye My Danish Sweetheart. Interesting that she's starting the album by saying goodbye.
There's nobody better than you. It took me a while till I knew. Now I lay as I study a blank wall. Would you spare me your voice if I call?
I love that imagery.
So I don't blame you if you want to bury me in your memory. I'm not the girl I ought to be. You can tell them what you saw in me and not how I turned out to be.
Interesting production.
And I'm sure that you've seen what it's done to my heart, but it's kept me from falling apart. Now here I lay as I wonder about you.
This is interesting. It feels very stream of consciousness in terms of the lyrics, and like the flow of it is, you know, just kind of going from line to line. I'm not a fan of the production. I will say I do really like some of the imagery that's present. Obviously, Mitski is the queen of imagery. She does that so well, and you know, it's very pretty in this song as well. I really love the line, if you want to bury me in your memory, I'm not the girl I ought to be. There's some kind of burning inside me. It's kept me from falling apart. You know, those lines are absolutely gorgeously written, and I like the way that she's singing it in certain parts.
'Cause I've waited and watered my heart till it grew. You can see how it's blossomed for you.
I love that.
And I don't blame you if you want to bury me in your memory.
That cadence really reminds me of Bury Me at Makeout Creek.
You can tell them what you saw in me and not the way I am.
Actually, it's kind of growing up.
Mean to make your heart blue, but could we then when you tell your friends, you can tell them what you saw in me and not the way I used to be. There's nobody better than
I like that. That was cute. Okay, I feel like I had mixed feelings on that song. It was very beautifully written with the lyrics, beautifully sung as well. I really loved her voice on that song. As far as like the production and the background sonics, you know, I wasn't a huge fan, but the more that it went on, the more I really enjoyed the cadence of it and the flow of it. It kind of gave me Bury Me at Makeout Creek energy, but it was also just its own thing. It had its own twist to it, and I really enjoyed the way that she delivered certain lines, and I think that was like my favorite aspect of the song. I just wish the production had been a little bit different, but at the same time, I do respect what she was doing there because it was unique. It was something that I don't think I've heard. So like from an objective perspective, I can respect it. I think it's just not necessarily my sound. But the next one is called Square. Like, okay, I feel like there's gonna be brass all over this album. Kind of low.
Your room was square. I once noticed from there in your bed as you slept, and I held my breath, and I wondered what space would I take in the order you kept.
Flute. Instrumentation.
I tried to eat like your girlfriend,
just love her imagery so much. I love the way that she writes her songs. I think what really made me respect and admire her writing even more was watching the behind the song for Bug Like an Angel, where she talked about the way that she wrote that song, and she talked about her songwriting process, and she talked about how she usually begins her songs with some kind of imagery, immediately painting the picture. And immediately I noticed that in this song, "Your room was square, I once noticed, in your bed as you slept and I held my breath." I just love that line. It really paints the picture in a visceral way. You can imagine the feeling of holding your breath. Everything had its own place, and I wondered what space would I take in the order you kept. So I think that's like, where would I fit into your life? You already have everything in your life together and in order, and where am I going to fit in? I don't know. She's a great songwriter. I feel like I don't need to say that, but like, she really is such a good songwriter. I tried to eat like your girlfriend, just tea in the night. I end up too hungry to sleep. So she's literally, sounds like, starving herself for this relationship. Lying awake, I would follow the aching inside. It's such a visceral song. It's like you almost feel every line in your soul. I would find it's for you, won't be mine. So it sounds like an unrequited love song. I tried my hardest. Love shouldn't burn. You know, it sounds like an unrequited love song. I really like the writing on this album so far.
The dark rings with white noise as you stand and drown. It's all of these snowflakes screaming a choir of mute as they brace for the ground. Well, I hope you had a good night. You know you made me happy. Here, shake my hand.
She loves to pull it back and then hit you with it.
Maybe you don't find me all that I yearn for, but I was still waiting for something to earn. Silly me waiting.
Oh. Yeah, definitely an unrequited love song. Silly me waiting. Really like the line, maybe it's all of these snowflakes screaming, a choir of mute as they brace for the ground. Mitski really is a unique songwriter. There's not a lot of songwriters that write lyrics and lines like this. It's very few and far between that I come across artists that are this poetic, and while I think that makes it harder for me to grasp her lyrics sometimes, I also think it just makes her an endlessly interesting artist to listen to, because there's so many layers to her music, and you can listen to her music over and over again and get something different out of it every single time you listen to it. Yeah, I like the writing on that song a lot. Was not a huge fan of it sonically. You know, I don't want to make too many assumptions just 2 songs in, but I already feel like this is not necessarily going to be my cup of tea in terms of production. So the next one is Strawberry Blonde. I consider myself a Strawberry Blonde. I've been called a Strawberry Blonde, so I'm kind of claiming this song. Okay.
I love everybody because I love you. When you stood up, walked away barefoot, and the grass where you lay left a bed in your shape. I looked over it and I ached. Look at you, Strawberry Blonde.
Interesting. She really did something with the production on this album.
Tell me you love her, I'll give you a grin. All I ever wanted was the life in your shape. So I'll follow the white lines, follow the white lines, keep my eyes on the road as I ache.
Oh, this album already has such a lilt to it. It has such a lightness and sort of this floating feeling. This is very different, is it not? This is unlike any of her other albums in my eyes. So I'm just kind of thrown off right now.
Strawberry blonde, fields rolling on. I love it when you call my name. Can you hear the bumblebees swarm? Look at you, Strawberry blonde.
Oh, is it a love song to someone with strawberry blonde hair? I thought it was about a girl. I mean, maybe it is about a girl. I don't know.
Can you hear the bumblebees swarm? Watch your arm, I love it when you look my way.
Isaiah, Isaiah, Isaiah.
She's definitely... I already feel like she's doing a lot with instrumentation on this album. You know, you can hear the flute, you can hear the brass. It does feel a little bit jazzy to me. I think the jazz element is one of the reasons that I'm not really connecting to the sound of it. That one was probably my favorite so far in terms of, it was the closest to something I felt like I could connect with sonically. Like, it was a cute song. It had this nice energy to it. It had this nice lilt to it. Okay, the next one's Humpty. If she brings a piano ballad, I will be happy.
I'll live in the bathtub. It's cool and clean.
That reminds me of I Love Me After You.
I broke our belongings. They're all on the floor. The room is now empty. Nothing left to throw.
So it's like post-fight, and she just wants to like curl up in the bathtub and numb herself to everything that's happening.
All the eggshells are on the ground, and I'm trying to pick them up, but they crack and crumble. It's all too much, too frail for me to touch.
That's a twist that I didn't see coming with the meaning of the song.
I'm trying to pick them up, but they crack and crumble. It's all too much. I'll live in the bathtub, surrounded by tiles, oh so square and so steady. I would die in their cool, cool arms. I broke what you gave me, and I'm sorry for taking, but I keep wanting more. Oh, the eggshells are on the ground.
Is it gonna build up to something?
I'm trying to pick them up, but Humpty Dumpty, you're much too frail for me to touch. Humpty Dumpty, it's much too much.
Okay, I loved the metaphor of that song. Definitely could not have seen that going in that direction. The aftermath of a fight and everything has been thrown around and she's trying to like pick up the pieces, but it just keeps falling apart. I think that the songwriting is gorgeous. That was definitely my favorite lyrically thus far. I just think it had a really, really clear metaphor, really clear story, something I was really able to latch onto and understand, and I just think that was really well done. The next one is I Want You. So this is kind of all about unrequited love. That's the vibe that I'm getting. Retired from sad. Oh, she's retired from being sad?
I want you. I hold one card that I can't use. You're coming back, and it's the end of the world. We're starting over, and I love you, darling. You're in the house, and I am here in the car. I just need a quiet place where I can scream how I love you.
I love that. I would love her to kind of explode it.
I found you. I found the door.
She switched the lyrics. Always appreciate that. Keeps it a little bit more interesting. I found that one to be sonically a bit more enjoyable personally than the other songs thus far. It still wasn't my favorite. I was able to latch on a bit more. It was a little bit more catchy. You know, it had that beat behind it. I don't think a song has to be catchy, but I do appreciate when there's kind of like those melodies and those moments that you are able to latch on to, and that song definitely had those moments. Pretty straightforward as well. It sounds like an unrequited love, like I'm gonna go to the top of the mountain and scream how much I love you because I just love you so much. And you know, it sounds like this person doesn't love her in return. That's the energy that I'm getting from this whole thing. The next one is Shame. Great. Violins, violins, violins. Okay, I'm getting like ghost town energy. This feels haunted.
It feels so good. It feels so good. And right outside the door, nobody knows. They're right outside the door and they don't know.
Who's right outside the door?
It feels so good.
That's really beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I kind of like that though. That's really spookily pretty.
I haven't been so good. They're right outside the door and they don't know how it feels so good. And I don't need anything other than you.
Oh, is that from another song that she wrote? That one was probably my favorite sonically so far. I actually kind of really enjoyed the production of that song, the haunting, slow aspects, the violins. It had this darker element to the sound that I really enjoyed. I also feel like it kind of tied into the song, her saying they're right outside the door. It sounded like a very foreboding message. I don't really know what she was referring to when she said they're right outside the door. Oh, the speaker is feeling shame for enjoying a sexual act. Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, that makes sense. Oh yeah, that makes sense now that, okay. Anyway, the next one is called Because Dreaming Costs Money, My Dear, which is the most Mitski title ever written.
I can still smell the fire, though I know it's long died out. The smoke still hangs in my hair, so darling, play your violin. I know it's what you live for. Darling, play your violin. We will manage somehow.
Dreaming costs money, my dear. When I thought of that title, I immediately thought of sometimes you have to spend money in order to go after something that is your dream. And in turn, sometimes making a dream into a business or a career ends up giving you money back. New career in business. I can still smell the fire. I don't know if that's like the person's passion for playing the violin, because she's encouraging this person, like, go ahead, play your violin. I know that's what you love to do, and we'll manage somehow. So like, it sounds like this person is playing the violin, but it's not making them any money. It's just a hobby. And she's like, we'll figure it out. I want you to be able to do what you love. The brass.
Bring me to your ear, you can hear the
I love her voice on this song. Something about it, it just speaks to my soul.
darling, play your violin.
I think think it's fair to say that this album is just not really for me sonically, at least right now. You know, that could always change in the future, but a lot of the songs are kind of dragging for me in terms of the production itself, which I know that Mitski doesn't even produce her own songs. I know she works with someone named Patrick Hyland, but I know she's heavily involved with like talking with him about what she wants the songs to sound like. She's heavily involved in the process of like creating the atmosphere and everything. I can appreciate her voice on that song. It was really pretty. I can appreciate the songwriting. That one definitely seemed like it was about encouraging someone in their dreams of doing something that they love to do, and like even if it's not making you money, like do it anyway because you enjoy it. Another kind of like foreboding one.
Now I can't tell the truth, and it ate me inside, but it's up in a branch of a tree. It was only to tease when he climbed up the tree.
That one was definitely my least favorite so far. I feel like it just dragged. I just feel like at this point in the album, it's really dragging for me, which I will not say for a lot of her albums and a lot of her songs. She has really short songs, she has really short albums, and so usually they don't even feel like they're long enough, but the lyrics are still pretty. She has a lot of really, really well-written lyrics in this album, and a lot of really good storytelling, a lot of really clear metaphors and lines that I really think are beautifully written. And if you're into that type of production, you probably like it a lot more than me. But the last track is called Class of 2013. Wow, we're really going back in time a little bit.
I'm tired. Can I sleep in your house tonight? Mom, I'll be quiet. It would be just to sleep at night.
Oh, I like that.
And I'll leave once I figure out how to pay for my own life too. Mom, would you wash my back this once, and then we can forget it all. Leave what I'm chasing for the other girls to pursue. Mom, am I still young? Can I dream for a few months more?
I heavily related to the lyrics on that one, even though it was a very short song. It was a very relatable one. Really felt like kind of a coming of age. I'm tired, Mom. Can I sleep in your house tonight? Kind of like regressing and going back to your childhood, wanting to just like stay in your mom's bed. If I stay for a year or two, is it all right? I'll be quiet. It would just be to sleep at night, and I'll leave once I figure out how to pay for my own life too. So it sounds like she wants to go back and live with her mom and figure her life out while she's there, and that's highly relatable. Mom, am I still young? Can I dream for a few months more? Almost like the hesitancy to start your life because you haven't gotten anything figured out. You haven't gotten your career figured out. You haven't gotten finances figured out. And I think that was definitely the song that I related the most to. That is just so highly relatable. Yeah, I definitely didn't love the sound of this album, to be quite honest. The only song that I would say I liked sonically was Shame. That was the one that I connected the most to, and even then, you know, it wasn't sonically a song that I really loved entirely. I will say that I think the songwriting on this album was beautiful from start to finish. I think her voice is beautiful. I really respect her as an artist. I just feel like this is definitely not my favorite album from her. I'm really glad that I checked out this album because I think there were such beautiful lyrics within it, and I think some of the lyrics in this album are definitely some of my favorite lyrics that she's ever written, so I'm definitely not disappointed that I checked this out. Definitely feels like kind of a coming of age album, kind of wrestling with unrequited love, wrestling with figuring out your career and your passions and your hobbies and what you want to do, and I think there's a lot of complex emotions within this album, and I think I can really relate to that, and anyone can really relate to that because life is full of complex emotions. Life is a highway. You know, life is messy, life is complicated, life is not just like boom, it's like boom. I also will say that she wrote this in 2013, and I think she's in her 30s now, so she might have been coming out of college. If she went to college, she might have been coming out of it when she wrote this album, so I think that's another aspect that kind of adds another layer to it. But yeah, I'm glad that I finally checked this album out. I really am. Thank you so much for watching, for listening to this with me. Feel free to like and subscribe if that's something you're interested in, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!